EC3 has appointed himself as the illuminating light of the NWA's future. Yet, to those detractors who might argue otherwise, he is the reigning and defending NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. But EC3 is not alone, for he has found a challenger to his hegemony in a form of a former world champion, the War Machine, Jax Dane. They are not friends, nor are they enemies. They are rivals with shades of mutual respect, and to that they share a common vision to dominate the National Wrestling Alliance and reshape it in their self-reverential visage. But as champions, they also know that there can only be one man at the top, holding what amounts to a scepter of power in the vaunted 10 pounds of gold. EC3 has offered his challenger a new opportunity that Jax once held, a chance to prove himself anew. But what will happen when the seeming respect amongst them is put to the test? When the heat of competition reigns? This is the NWA, where history lives and where legends are forged.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the weirdly done Hour of Power podcast. My name is Knighton, and as always, I am joined by the lovely and delectable Trey, and we also have Mr. Logan with us. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic after watching an episode of NWA Power, and we're getting close to the weekend, so I'm excited about that. A 3-day weekend, so what's not to love about that?
Yeah, doing good, guys. I'm just chilling for the night.
Well, I wish I could say the same, but I am currently stuck in a hotel room at my work, and we are currently preparing for anywhere between 7 to 11 inches of snow.
Oh my goodness. They just canceled school around here, and it's like there's nothing on the ground. There's no,
Over gusts of wind.
Yes, over. I remember being a kid and watching it snow and be like, "Please, snowbird, please let us off." And then we'd have to go to school.
Fuck, I'll trade you guys in a heartbeat. But let's get right into this episode. This was a very, very good episode of Power. First off, we have what was supposed to be Pretty Empowered versus Missa Kate and Ruthie J defending the NWA Women's Tag Team titles, but it ended up being just Kylie.
Oh, she got a touch of that flu.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
Yeah.
I heard she was actually hanging out down the road getting her nails done, but I don't know that for sure. That's just rumor and innuendo.
Yeah.
How dare you use such disparaging words? But honestly, going into this match, I was like, there's got to be some funky finish going on, and the ladies put on a very damn good showing.
Yeah, I thought so. That Missa Kate kick to the head at some point against Paige. Do you know what spot I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the kick fillet.
The kick fillet. No, it was Missy Kate's kick to Paige, and it just, dude, it was. I mean, it totally connected. I thought she took her head off with it. She sold it beautifully too.
Yeah, that's one thing I do have to say that Kylie Paige is very good at, is being the one that is taking the ass kicking, but just sells like $1,000,000.
And then she gets Big Sister to come help out.
Yeah, that was the part I was predicting. It was just a matter of time. Although I did really, really, really enjoy that spot of leading up to Kenzie coming in.
Not you tend to be like a aficionado about the rules with NWA, so I have a question for you. So does NWA tag rules have where anybody in the actual named Pretty Empowered can defend the titles? So could you potentially have like Kenzie and
Freebird
Kylie
rule.
defend them? Yeah, the Freebird rule.
Well, Kylie did defend him. Kenzie, as much
Because
as I
she
would like
is
to say,
technically a part of Pretty Empowered.
But she was not a part of this match, which I do kind of have
Oh
a
yeah, I
problem
know.
with. The
I
fact
was just
that
curious.
they're making her defend those tag titles by herself. Commentary pointed that out.
I definitely thought it was a good spot because you're like, oh, okay, is there a chance? But I mean, in the back of your mind, did you really think that Kylie was going to lose?
No, not really. But
Exactly.
yeah, Kylie Page. It was a blessing in disguise. She was able to kind of shine in this match. I felt.
And shine like a bright diamond she did.
Oh, God.
My God. What? She did very well. I
Yes, she
enjoyed
did.
the match.
Yes, she did.
But the lead up to the ending of Pretty Security throwing in the tag title, causing a little bit of distraction, allowing Kenzie to come in and hit the Kenzie cutter, and sneaking out. Oh, that was good. I loved that spot.
Too. I was wondering why they just didn't put Kenzie Page in the match with her sister Kylie Page, but I mean, I guess just for that spot, and she had the match, directly right after it.
Yeah, I was waiting for a little bit of a break before they go right into the match after all was said and done. But nope, Scott Wheeler stayed out there. He reffed both title matches right in, and it was a smooth transition in my mind.
So yeah, it just basically it went right into the title match.
Yep, Kenzie Page versus Miss Star.
Yes, let's call her Miss Star now. I'm very confused by the way they were booking her. I guess Miss Star was supposed to be face, or was she a heel?
She was a heel.
Okay,
Oh,
so it was a
fuck.
heel versus a heel, or do they just say, fuck it, Kenzie Page is a face to this crowd? I don't know. Thoughts?
Logan, I'm gonna let you speak.
I do think that what they're kind of doing is playing almost like how they did with Brett in Canada versus the United States, but
Okay.
a little different. And it's like she's a heel if she's with Pretty Empowered, but
Right.
on her own, like in a singles run type thing, she's face.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a little different dynamic, but she also kind of plays that heel that the crowd gets behind, like they, kind of like Ric Flair, where he would jab to the eyes. He didn't mind throwing a low blow if he could get away with it, and the crowds a lot of times were behind him, especially in the latter years when it kind of become more hokey. But I really think that they're just kind of playing to see what the crowd wants out of her, maybe.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching Kylie Page, I started thinking like, damn, it would be kind of cool at some point if we get a Kylie Page Kenzie Page match, or some other kind of breakdown with Pretty Empowerment. I mean, not anytime soon. I know Knighton's a huge fan, but I don't know. I just thought that could be a great match down the line.
Yeah, I could definitely see it between Kylie and Kenzie.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean they're just kind of getting started in this faction, but
I imagine they've wrestled each other a lot of times, if nothing
yes.
more than in practice.
Yeah, and indies too, probably.
Yeah, they're in Knoxville.
Right. We've seen her face Danny Jordan in Southern Honor. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kenzie Page still being booked strong. She gets the win here. Pretty clean win, I would say. What do you think, gentlemen?
Logan, I'll let you go.
I thought there at the end it kind of just popped up like
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, I felt like I was following the match, and then to be honest with you, I looked away and I actually missed it, and I was like, "What happened?" And I had to rewind and watch it over again to see what happened, because it just shocked me that the ending just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I kind of thought it did too. And like I said, to me, it was a clean win. So they're booking Kenzie Page very, very strong. Who is the next opponent to really challenge her for that world title and be a legit person that can take that title belt off of her? I've got my thoughts, Knighton. What do you think?
I would agree and disagree on the fact that it was a bit of a clean finish. Now, like when she got when pronouns pal, when Kenzie
Mhm.
escaped the Samoan drop, it looked like she legitimately tweaked her leg, and I even was like bought into it of like, oh
Yeah.
fuck. And she used it so cleanly and so effectively. It worked. I was like,
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, I remember him doing that against Bautista, and he was still, face.
yeah.
And they was considered a clean win. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it was a underhanded tactic to get the win, but she still got the win. She didn't use any weapons. She didn't use any outside interference. She didn't use the ropes. She didn't use the tight. She just outsmarted her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was one spot in this match though that I was like, Jesus, when they were going back and forth in the slapping battle.
Oh yeah.
Like in the beginning, it looked like they were just throwing missiles at one another, and then towards the end, it kind of was a little and they started to look like they were worn down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they were going 100 miles an hour there.
I loved that spot.
Yeah.
That was a damn good one.
Yeah, I thought this match was good. I don't know if I'd give it my match of the night. It's close to my match of the night.
Yeah, I would say it's up there.
Because the other two matches were, they're just me. We'll talk about them.
All right. Well, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Promo number 1 of the night, Tom Latimer. Now, this promo, the man did speak a lot of truth when it came to the whole Matt Cardona situation. Matt Cardona comes in and basically bitches and moans his way to a title opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good what if question. What if Matt Cardona had not gotten involved at Sawin? Would Tom Latimer be the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion?
Yeah, what did you think of this interview, Logan?
I thought that it was a good straight shooting interview. I think that the fact that he come out, spoke truth, got straight to the point, and left it at that. It's just a good solid point that he was making.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep himself relevant and in that title picture. And I felt like he was kind of almost setting up something, for whatever's next for Matt Cardona. If he doesn't win the world title, or hell, even if he does win the world title, you have that immediate program with Tom Latimer. So
I don't want to see Matt Cardona as world champion.
Well, when we get to talking about Paranoia and the great card that they got coming out of that, I will give my predictions on that, and I think everybody knows where I stand on that. But yeah,
And we're gonna move on to the last match of this segment: the Country Gentlemen, AJ and Casey Kazana versus Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. This match was a little to be desired.
well, yeah, you had the rookie come in. There was some pretty good little spots with the Country Gentlemen. You know, I thought the kid, the younger kid, I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. KC kind of sold the whole match and built to the hot tag, whereas Murdoch and Knox played heel throughout this match. This match was it's what you would kind of expected, but I kind of was hoping for more of just brutal chops and clotheslines, in which you got a little bit of that in there. But I did feel like I feel like AJ was, or I'm sorry, what was his name again?
KC.
KC. You know, he's still got a long way to go. But the Country Gentlemen, you know, they're just getting started here in NWA, and it was a fine match. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't much to say about this match. This match wasn't like god awful. It wasn't great. It was a way to remind people Knox and Murdoch are still an established tag team in NWA, and they're coming for Southern Six at Paranoia.
I mean, shit, you nailed it right on the head. The one thing I will state, though, like the beginning of the match was good. I liked the beginning.
Yeah.
Trevor Murdoch yelling at KC, "If you're gonna hit me like a man."
Mm-hmm.
He bounces off the rope and slams him. And then right after that, AJ and Mike Knox go at it, and AJ hits Mike Knox with a slam. It was just, it fit. And then going out into the outside, wrestling into the barricade, and those chops, Jesus Christ. The one on KC from Trevor just sounded like a gunshot.
Logan, what did you think of this match?
Well, I think it was definitely to, put out that they were still dominant in the tag team division, so that they could put them in the match against the Southern Six this weekend. But I really kind of sometimes hate when things are booked to just stomp out like a young tag team just for the purpose of getting over. Getting a person over or whatever, or a tag team. But for what it was, it's like you said, it was almost like a let me up match,
Right.
You can go get your popcorn and a beer and you're not gonna miss nothing while you're gone.
Right. Yeah, and the Country Gentlemen had got a win. I can't remember if it was a week or two ago. I think it's 2 weeks ago. So they were kind of like, they had a little bit of momentum going into this match. And honestly, I kind of had a little bit more high hopes, hoping that it would just be a slugfest, I guess. But it should have been exactly what it was. I should have expected exactly what it was, is what I'm going to say. But
it was because their daddy wasn't there. They're like the little spoiled kids at the soccer game. That their daddy don't show up, so they don't make the goal. That's what happened.
And I believe he runs the NWA territory. Joe, oh my God,
Joe Kazana Promotions.
Yes. Out of, where is that in Tennessee?
I don't know. You made the fucking
Cooksville or Clarksville. I can't remember. But yeah, we should cover a show. Look it up on YouTube. I've been wanting to do that with Ohio Valley, who just announced today that Mickey James is going to be working with them. So
Saw that.
that's cool. She's going to be doing something in management behind the scenes, but I'm sure that we'll get a cameo from Mickey James from time to time, I would think. But yeah, I think it would be cool to do that, or Exodus Pro. They have a show coming up at the end of the month as well. Could be fun to review something a little bit different.
Yeah, it'd be down.
Yeah, especially, and it's still connected to NWA, the territories. Okay, well, moving on.
All right, everybody, and we are back a little bit later on than we expected, but we will move on with the Southern Six promo. Dude, whenever the Southern Six come on TV, I know it's going to be a damn good time.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
and the Southern Six, they didn't seem too worried at all in regards to their upcoming match, because they didn't even acknowledge their opponent.
No, they never once mentioned the fact that they have a matchup with Knox and Murdoch, and I felt that to be kind of funny. And they didn't even, Thrillbilly didn't even once mention Paul Burchill. So I don't think they're worried about their opponents coming up. But
No.
I think that, looking at the NWA poll that they put up on their story, it looks like a lot of people have confidence that Paul Burchill can knock off Thrillbilly.
I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, that's going to be a damn solid match. And that's definitely one of the highlights of Paranoia that I'm looking forward to, is seeing that.
We're going to preview that right after the review, and just a real quick preview of that. And we'll go over the matches, all the card, and maybe a few predictions here and there.
Mm-hmm. But they were starting to name off some NWA shows. They're like, oh, yeah, Billy allowed us to name some shows and whatnot. They're going to name some shows after us. And some of the names got me to pop. Like with Thrillbilly, Sixy Business.
Yeah.
AT hitting him with the 60 as hell. And then there's Kerry Morton. The only time he has ever gotten me to laugh. Bisexuality. They all just kind of look at him. They're like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's good.
They'll stop. Good. Yeah. They got a good thing going, man. They got great chemistry together. You can tell these guys ride the roads together. They're good friends in real life. This isn't just an act. You can tell by their chemistry. And really happy for Alex Taylor. Like I said, a guy I followed on the indies for a while. So I'm happy to see him get this spotlight. And he's really, he's an underrated athlete. He's a great wrestler. Kerry has kind of come into his own. He's got that real punchable face. I'm glad that he's a heel and they didn't just automatically make him a face because his dad being Ricky Morton. And then of course Alice Mason, he is Thrillbilly is a beast, and just much like his character he plays in Iron Claw as Terry Bam Bam Gordy. That is exactly who he reminds me of. He's the second coming of Terry Bam Bam Gordy. He even acts like him. Even the charisma, the confidence, the ego, everything screams Terry Bam Bam Gordy to me. but he's also got his own thing. It's not like I'm saying he's copying him or anything like that. I'm just saying he gives me those vibes, and I dig the character. I dig the stable, and these guys are main staples here in NWA. I see only good things happening for the Southern Six.
Yeah, the Southern Six is definitely a group that whenever they're in the ring or whenever they're on the mic, you can count on them and it's going to be good.
Yeah, they're kind of a whole package deal. Like they're great on the mic, they're great in the ring. Kerry and Alex are great athletes. They bump everywhere. They're they've got great offense. They play to the crowd. And then of course, Thrillbilly he's more of just like a brawler, but it's like he's got a specialness to him. Every time you see him in a match, you want to see that match because you want to see how hard he's going to hit his opponent.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I've ever since I started getting back into the NWA, there have definitely been I've been impressed with these guys. Mims, Thrillbilly, Alex Taylor, and there's a few others that I am kind of blanking on right now because I'm still half asleep. But those are the guys.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of NWA talent. I guess you could say they're homegrown talent, even though nobody's homegrown talent, I guess. But it's really cool to see guys like Sus Mason and Alex Taylor and not Ricky Morton. Oh my God, I'm having Kerry Morton. And Mims is another one. Maxim, Paler, Jedias is becoming a guy that they could do some stuff with. And I mean, Jax Dane. I mean, there's countless people that I think of like these are NWA cornerstones, basically, guys that have consistently been here. And when you think of the NWA, you think of these talents.
Yes, this is very true.
Yes.
But we're going to move on to the main event of the evening. And speaking of Jax Dane, he gets a world title opportunity against EC3. For this match, I was expecting a little bit more, but they told a very good story.
Yeah, with the whole respect angle. They still booked Jack's very strong. I feel like trying not to fast forward too much through the match, but it did take, three of EC3's finishers to really, cap it off and get the win. But overall, this was a nice little story that they told. This was a good television program. They started out weeks and weeks ago with Jax Dane coming in to help EC3 out, and then kind of looking down the belt, the handshake, and then the face-to-face interview that they had. So they had a nice little build for this match. It's nice to see Jax Dane get a little bit of shine there, and I think it was the outcome that most people thought, especially when you're really it's difficult when you do all these tapings and you're trying to promote a title match and a legit contender taking that title, and then you've got this other match that you're also trying to promote, an ultimate death match. So I think the fans, most smart fans, really kind of saw the writing on the wall and said, well, this is the best that we can hope for. This is just a really good match. And I thought it was a decent match. It is what it is. I mean, it was not it was not a masterpiece, I'll just say that. Jax is such a big dude. His selling is clunky at times. I'm not, he's a legend in this business. He's been in this business for a long, long time. I'm not trying to take anything away from this guy, and he would, kill me if he probably heard this, like just snap my neck. But I'm not trying to like diss the guy at all. I just thought that the selling was a little bit clunky in the match, and sometimes the chemistry is just not there between two talents. And that's what I thought we got in this match. I just felt like the chemistry was off. Maybe it was because they were both playing a face role and you didn't really have a heel role in this. So it was a little bit different role than Jax is used to playing, as far as like, how do I've never had really a match that I know of where I do this respect angle. He may have done it with Tim Storm, but I was not watching NWA at the time. And, that goes for EC3 too. He didn't have his best showing. But overall, if I'm rating this 1 out of 10, I'm still giving it a 6. It still was a decent little match, and I like the build, the TV build for it.
I actually didn't mind this match. I liked the storytelling aspect of EC3 knew that Jax Dane was going to be a bit of a challenge to him. And right off the bat, EC3 was working the head and neck. It took him 3 or 4 attempts with the headlock to get into a side headlock takeover.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jax was putting the stops to it. And both Jax and EC3 were working over parts of the body, i.e. the neck and the head.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely was very impressed with EC3 being able to be the first person to kick out of Pop the Trunk.
Yes. Yeah, he
Because,
hit that kind of out of nowhere, and it was a great false finish.
yeah, because when Jax Dane hits Pop the Trunk, it's over.
Yep.
So when you see that, you're like, oh, well, this is done. And then boom, EC3 kicks out. You're like, oh my God.
And that was one thing I thought of when they called it in commentary, Pop the Trunk. I always thought that was like a really cool finisher name especially for his character. Really just goes with his character.
Mm-hmm. And then EC3 being able to get out of Trap City. Yep. I wouldn't want to be into Trap City. Fuck that.
Yeah. No kidding. And dude, he's the perfect wrestler for both those finishing moves.
Yeah, he is. Jesus.
What's going on?
I'm listening to the wind go.
Oh, I hear it. It's like howling. Oh man. It's been pretty cold here too. It's cold everywhere right now. Seen St. Louis, the Kansas City game is going to be negative 30 degrees for their game Saturday.
Screw that.
You could not give me tickets to a game like that.
But hey, before we go off tangent, let's finish this real quick.
Okay.
But EC3 hitting 3 1%ers and winning the match, hell, I'll take it. It was a good main event. It was a good way to cap off the return. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a great season finale. No doubt about that.
So, and then with Paranoia being just round the corner and them moving to having shows on the CW network, things are looking up for the NWA. And I'm excited to see where things go.
Things are looking up for our podcast coming up later this year. We got the video podcast. We're going to draw. I don't know. Is there a term that I should be calling it? I don't know. Either way, we're going to video, people. We're stepping into the new age, even though everybody's doing it. We're like the only ones doing audios, just doing audio still. But we will be going to video here pretty soon. I say it every week. We're still preparing for it. We want to put out the best show possible for our viewers. And we have some other exciting news coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're inviting Kara and Katie to come back on in a special female edition of Our Power podcast. That should be fun. So yeah, that's some fun stuff that we got planned coming up. I got some other stuff coming up, but we're also going to look at the Hour of Power page and look at some of the news coming out of that. Knighton.
Ooh.
Let's look. Oh, go ahead. Were you about to say something?
Well, I was just going to comment on the whole going to video format, especially with me making a big move and, I can actually make an area look presentable and not a goddamn dumpster fire. So that definitely helps of being able to move to video format so it doesn't look like, I look like I'm crammed in a small little space.
Got to develop an intro. There's just a lot of little stuff
which
people don't think about when they think about that. An intro, somebody to help us with the video production, perhaps breaks, meaning advertisements for shows, maybe some indie shows, maybe just an NWA commercial, as well as just some funny stuff that we'll put together try to get the listener, or now viewer, I should say, kind of laughing?
Well, I will say this as it pertains to a intro. I have a very good buddy of mine, Dylan Thu, who I was in a band with. He's actually going to be working on intro music and break music for us for the podcast.
That's excellent.
He's a very talented musician, so I was like, "Hey, dude, can you do this for me?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So we'll definitely have some of his tunes on here, and we'll give him a shout out. And then, just I'm excited for what's in store for us as a podcast. I'm excited for what's in store for the NWA moving forward in 2024. And I think all around 2024 is going to be a very, very good year for professional wrestling as a whole.
Yes, I would totally agree with that. And one of our more popular shows is when we do their prediction shows for the pay-per-views and some of the bigger events. We'll be bringing those back. We'll always have the extra podcasts like that, the predictions. And we're going to try to do the results. I think the last results show we tried to do, we went a little bit long. And then it was like, all right, let's do the rest
tomorrow.
And then tomorrow came and it was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Actually, I was talking about that to somebody. I was like, dude, I'm half tempted to release the Sawin review show as kind of like a bonus content of like, hey, this is how shitty this was. Because let's be real, it was fucking dog shit.
It was, but the next one will not be dog shit. And I think that these post shows, because I like listening to them, even like a day or two later after the pay-per-view goes down, they're always fun to listen to because you get the reaction of the host, right after the pay-per-view happens. And then you can have people call in, talk about their opinions of what went down, how they felt the show went down, and if they liked it or not. I mean, it's a fun show, and apparently a lot of the roster liked listening to the prediction show, so we should definitely put that out. We've tried to put those out too close together. What we'll do is the prediction show a little earlier next time, and we'll be a little bit quicker about it as well.
Plus, here's the other thing. Let's not review the pay-per-view right after it ends, because that was too late. I think you and I stayed up till, I think it was like 1 a.m. for you. It was midnight for me.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had to be up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. And I was just like, plus I was drinking on top of that while watching Saw win. So that was at least one thing James Mitchell and I had in common.
Well, he was doing a little bit more than drinking.
Well, he started off the night drinking. And...
All right, let's before we get out of here, let's dive into some of the headlines on the Our Power podcast page. First, real quickly, just some passing news. Not really NWA related too much, but we have Mickie James, who joins the OVW as a creative director, executive producer, and head of female talent. So apparently she'll be wearing several hats in OVW, who has kind of worked with NWA a little bit. Obviously EC3 is their world heavyweight champion and is the Ohio Valley champion. So there's a little bit of correlation there, but just wanted to kind of announce that. Let's look at the Paranoia card. That's the thing that's kind of dominating the Facebook page right now. Just announced like a day ago, Blunt Force Trauma will defend the NWA World Tag Team Championships against Tim Storm and Jax Dane coming up this weekend at the Paranoia tapings. So pretty excited about this match. It's really funny. I started thinking about, where does Jax Dane go from here after the loss to EC3? And I thought, well, damn, they just put him in a tag team with Tim Storm. And I would love to see them go for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Sure enough, probably a few hours later, I see that it has been booked.
I'm really starting to think that you might have some sort of either one, psychic ability, or two, you have too many people you know. Because
I
it
think
seems to be
that maybe Billy Corgan kind of we have very similar booking styles in our head. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, "Oh, I think Billy Corgan listens to this." I would tell
No, I'm
you,
not. I don't
one,
think that
hell
at
has
all.
frozen over, and
Yes.
two, you are full of shit.
Let's look at this rest of this card. What did you think about this tag match? Are you pretty excited for it?
Yeah, I don't know. Especially with the recent loss for Jax Dane, it's gonna be kind of hard, in my opinion, to keep him strong. But I don't know. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know how the hell it's gonna end. So we'll see.
I think they become strong. I think Tim Storm kind of builds up the hot tag to Jax Dane, and you can see Jax Dane run rampant through blunt force trauma, and until, of course, Aaron Stevens has to. He may have to get involved. Who knows? But I find this match very interesting, and I think Tim Storm, Jax Dane, it's a good tag team. Hell, maybe we see something crazy go down. Maybe Jax Dane turns on Tim Storm and he's frustrated and says, "Screw it." And he's like, "I never liked you, Tim Storm."
That's way too soon.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying they've got
Really,
a tag team.
their second tag team
And they
match.
hinted around in commentary like Murdoch and Knox could possibly get another tag title shot, even though the stipulation at Sawin.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the other matchups. Just announced NWA World Women's Championship match. Kenzie Page will take on Tiffany Nivens. That this could be a very telling match as far as like where they're going in the women's division, especially if Kenzie Page has to rely on Pretty Empowered to get the win in this match. Once again, though, we have a heel versus a heel. Where are our women baby faces? I'm about to tell you here in just a minute.
Uh-oh.
But go ahead. I'll give my opinion on that. You interested in this matchup?
Yes, I like both Kenzie Page and Tiffany Davis. Tiffany has been doing a lot of really interesting things down in OVW, so it's nice to see her get a title opportunity here in the NWA. But I think at the end of the day, we know who's walking away as the winner.
Yeah, like I said, there seems to be somewhat of a working relationship between NWA and Ohio Valley. Whether that just be something friendly and nothing like too official, I guess. Moving on down, we got NWA World Women's Tag Team Championship match. Pretty Empowered versus King Bees. This was my match of the week several weeks ago. I am looking forward to this match, and I could see possibly an upset. Possibly King Bees get the win here.
Dude, when I saw this match get announced, I was genuinely excited for the King Bees to be back on TV.
Yeah, I'm jacked about that match. Interesting match. A guy who we still need to have on the show. It's a triple threat. We have Eric Smalls, and we have Rolando, and we have I can't say it's how do you say this? Gustavo?
Yeah, Gustavo.
Oh my goodness. Well, that should be a pure comedy match. Hey, we didn't talk about Eric Smalls. Before we get off here, I cannot believe we did not bring up the fact that Eric Smalls randomly runs in the fucking ring and punches Trevor Murdoch right in the dick.
No. Not in the dick. The mommy daddy button.
Oh my God. Okay, the mommy daddy button. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. But of course, Knox ends up getting a little bit of revenge on behalf of his partner, and I just thought it was the most random fucking shit. I'm like, are they in a feud? Like, why did he just come up and punch him in the mommy daddy button?
Dude, I giggled. I was like,
there's another mommy daddy button spot.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, how many times can you say in your life that you get punched in the sack by a little person?
Well, what happened to him after? He totally deserved it. I was surprised Murdoch didn't whip his ass a little bit more after that, because somebody tried to stooge on me and rib me at work. and this happened just last year when he tried this guy. I didn't even hardly know. And this is what it reminded me of, because he just, like I said, he came out of the crowd, punched Murdoch in the dick. This guy comes up and tries to jerk my fucking shorts down, not shitting you, and like without hesitation. And this may have been the wrong call, but without any it was almost like a instant reaction. I punched the dude in the face like 2 or 3 times. He just jabbed him right in the face. Boss saw it all. My manager saw it all, and he was just like, "Dude, I don't blame you." He's like, "Fuck that guy." So you know what? Fuck Eric Smalls for running up and just punching Murdoch in the dick. That was a dick fucking move.
I see what you did there. I like it.
That was a dick move. All right. This is what I was talking about earlier. Who steps it up as the face of the women's division is not really the face, the baby face, I should say. We've got a lot of heels in this women's division. But in the 6 women's tag team matchup, maybe somebody steps up. I mean, you got Terra Rising and Ruthie J and Natalia all in one match taking on Miss Star. Miss Star, make sure you call her Miss Star. CJ, our personal favorite of the shows, and Miss K. And I like all of these women. All these women can go. All these women have pretty big names to them. This is a chance for them to do the right thing and push CJ. Give CJ the win right here. CJ is a baby face. She is so likable. She's so lovable, and she can fucking go in the ring. I'm telling you, she has been in the indies for a while now. This girl can go in the ring. Let's do it. Let's pull the trigger. Give her the win right here. All right, I'm done. I'm done. Sorry.
Are you done with your little diatribe?
Yeah.
This is a match I'm excited for too.
Mm-hmm.
All these women are so fucking talented, and it's going to be a toss up for me on who I want to see win.
Yep.
Both sides have very good potential, very good opportunity, and it's just a matter of who can get the upper hand.
Well, who kind of shines in this matchup?
I think definitely CJ will. I think Miss Star, Natalia Markova will definitely shine. And I would say even Taylor Rising would shine too.
Yeah, I could see that as well. I could see them finally kind of giving her a push. She was kind of a big name in Impact and elsewhere, so maybe she gets the push. And then we got Knox and Murdoch versus the Southern Six. Excuse me, I cannot talk tonight. With Ricky Morton at ringside. Interesting. So we have this weird dynamic where Knox and Murdoch are kind of, I would say, a little bit heelish, but more just Billy badasses. And then you got the Southern Six, who are definitely heels, with their face manager, Ricky Morton. So I find this match to be very interesting. I feel like whoever wins this match is really going to get the push in the tag division, whether that be for the U.S. NWA tag titles or the world tag titles. I could see Knox and Murdoch somehow getting back in there against Blunt Force Trauma. I mean, Blunt Force Trauma could lose the titles as well.
There are so many possibilities, and maybe even the Southern Six goes into those folds.
Sneaks in there, yeah.
Because as a team, they're undefeated.
Yes.
So that's also a toss of who the hell's going to win, and you don't know. We're going to find out when the show happens.
God, I mean, there's so many matchups. Here's another big one. NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Colby Carino with Violent J at ringside with him against Mecha Wolf, who will not have Vampiro. And then you have the Country Gentlemen taking on Zion and Anthony Andrews, maybe to rehab the Country Gentlemen, who they seem to be wanting to push a little bit. it looks like we have Austin Idol in the corner of Zion and Anthony Andrews. So that's interesting. And then you got old man Joe, who is gonna be in the corner of the country gentleman, old daddy Joe. What did Logan call him? I don't know. Logan was kind of poking fun at him last night.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. And what do you think about these two matchups, man?
The country gentleman and Zion and the other dude. I like the country gentleman. I don't really care for the opponents.
You know what? I don't really care either way about this match, but I will say this: with Austin Idol being at ringside, you've got the potential for some entertainment outside the ring as well. So, that match is probably the one I've least looking forward to. But I think Colby Corino and this Mecha Wolf match will be pretty good. Mecha Wolf can go. I think he was in like the top 20 on the PW 500. So this guy's I mean, he's good as a singles wrestler, so that should be interesting. And the big matchup, one of the big matchups, I should say, the title versus title, there must be a winner. The TV unification title match. We've got Max Impaler with Father James Mitchell taking on the other TV champion, the men's TV champion, Mims. So we got NWA Women's Television Champion versus NWA Television Champion Mims. This is a interesting matchup. This is a matchup that I suggested on the podcast weeks and weeks and weeks ago that I wanted to see, and they're going to give it to us. I find this to be a very, very interesting matchup. And how do they book this matchup? Knighton, thoughts on this match?
There's no way you can predict it. There's no fucking way you can predict it. There could be a million ways to go about this.
Possibly the most interesting match on the Paranoia.
Here was my thing. Like, you wanted this. As much as it intrigued me, I didn't want to see it.
Right.
And now that it's a reality, it's like, well, fuck. And I'm sticking to my guns. I'm going with Mims.
Yeah, if we're making some predictions here, I'm going to go with Mims on this. We've got NWA National Heavyweight Championship match. Thrillbilly Silas Mason. I tell you, I cannot talk tonight. Versus Burchill. It's not Paul Burchill. It's just Burchill. That's what he's going by. Does Burchill get the upset win here against old Thrillbilly?
I would love to see it. I
wouldn't. I would rather see Thrillbilly continue to get, build his record and to eventually go after EC3 or even Mims. Like I said, I would love to see Mims versus Thrillbilly. Burchill, I would like to see have a good showing where he just, is very, very close to winning it. So that kind of gives him some steam, moving past this event. And I would like to see him as a mainstay in NWA. I think he's a great worker. And there's a lot of potential to do some stuff with his character. Right now, he's a little bit bland for me, but they could do some stuff. They could do a lot of stuff with him. So the guy is, he'll work. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he can make a pirate gimmick work, he can make just about anything work. Next up, we have Miserable Faithful versus the Kids. What do you got here?
I got nothing. I'm going Miserably Faithful.
Yeah, I'll go with Gags and Sal. Fuck it. It doesn't say Father James at ringside, so I guess he's letting them go solo. That may not be a good idea after what happened last week with Sal.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so that is about it. One last match, and that is the Ultimate Death Match. EC3 taking on Matt Cardona. How do you see this shaking down? I've got my thoughts on it. Go ahead and share your thoughts, Knighton, before we get off here.
I have two trains of thought.
Okay.
EC3 retains, and there's no shenanigans, or EC3 retains and Tom Latimer gets involved.
Yeah, I think we're thinking the same thing. I think somehow Tom Latimer is involved with this match, and it possibly leads to a feud with him and Matt Cardona. And I just think that EC3's next feud has got to be a monster. That's what I would like to see. Jedias, Thrillbilly. That's where I want to see them go. As a matter of fact, it would be outstanding if they did a Southern Six feud with EC3 where he has to overcome the Southern Six, maybe even lead that into Hard Times. I'm doing some fantasy booking right now, but
Stop
damn
it.
it just sounds very interesting to me. I want to see him face a monster. I want to see him face somebody that he's going to have trouble with for months, and you build that title match up, and I think that is Thrillbilly. But I don't know. We'll see what happens after Paranoia. I think we'll get a clear view of where they're going for their Hard Times pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would have to agree because there's going to be a lot of television that's going to be filmed. So you're going to be able to fill some gaps, fill some spaces, and, build up towards Hard Times.
Right.
So.
And I think I'm missing the Slime Balls. We forgot to do this with the NWA US Tag Team titles on the line. We got the Immortals taking on the Slime Balls. Quick predictions here from Knighton here.
Immortals.
Yeah, I think the Immortals get the win here. I think Slime Balls will pull out some shenanigans here and there, but in the end, the Immortals ended up knocking their heads off and getting the win is the way I see that going down. There is a second show on that same night. It's CCW. They are running a show with some NWA talent as well. I am looking everywhere for it on the page. It was on the page, and now I cannot find it.
We'll have to review that another time, dude.
Absolutely.
Gotta go.
Yes, right. If we get results tomorrow, we will review that show real quick next week. But anyways, guys, we're glad you joined us on the Hour of Power podcast, and we'll be back next week for more NWA action.
Yeet.
Yeet.